Okay, good.
Yeah, you can start now.
Good morning, everybody.
And good morning to you.
Bagavath. You want to start?
Shall we begin?
Yes, yes, you
Okay.
can begin.
Today, what we have to do, what we have to speak, mainly, if you are free from our problem, everything is okay. If you are in problem, somewhere we feel we are inadequate, we want something, so we demand something. So here, let us understand what is problem itself. Whether it is psychological or physical, what is problem? You may first contribute upon this topic and we can proceed. Lanur, you can invite contribution. What is problem?
Bagavath, if you can say it again, I didn't get it. The invitation, I didn't get it exactly. Can you say it again?
So the main thing is that problem is the main thing. So we feel satisfied if you do not have any problem. But when we have some problem, we feel inadequate. We want something, we demand something to rectify the problem. We get away from the problem. So here we have to think the details and what is the root cause of all our problem, what is the structure of our problem, whether it is purely psychological or it is external or physical problem. So what is the nature of problem? If you understand the nature of problem, we can give some solution for that problem. So what is problem in itself? So this is the thing for which we can contribute and we can discuss upon this topic.
אוקיי. אז בוקר טוב לכולם. אז שרי בגבת מזמין אותנו הבוקר להגות במה זה אומר בעיה, מה זאת בעיה עבורנו. האם בעיה היא משהו שקורה באופן חיצוני, זה משהו שנוחת עלינו ואנחנו צריכים לפתור אותו, או האם בעיה זה משהו שהוא רק פנימי, איזה שהם קשיים פסיכולוגיים, קשיים מנטליים שיש לנו, או זה השילוב של שניהם. אז לפי שרי בגבת, אם נדע מהי בעיה ומה השורשים של הבעיות שלנו, אז אנחנו נוכל גם לפתור אותם. אז שרי בגבת מזמין אותנו קודם כל לחלוק ולדבר מהניסיון שלנו, מה לדעתנו זאת בעיה, מה השורשים של הבעיה ומה זאת בעיה בכלל עבורנו. אז מי שרוצה לדבר יכול להפעיל את המיקרופון שלו ולדבר.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I will say it simple. I think that the problem is something that you don't need or you don't want in your life, in your world. Like it can be something physical like illness or something something mentally like like disappointment or sadness. I consider it all problems.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes, I want to say. אני אגיד בעברית, אצלי זה בעיה, דבר שאי אפשר, שאין פתרון. ברגע שיש פתרון לבעיה זה בסדר, אז היא עוברת. אבל ברגע שאין פתרון, באמת זו בעיה. תודה.
Okay, so Rita is saying that for her, the problem is something that there is no solution for it. If there is a solution, then there is no problem. But she says sometimes in life there are things that we can find no solution for them, and then it's a problem.
Okay.
Can I add something?
Sure.
Problem. Can I add something?
No, you can say something.
A problem is a big thing. It's many things. Sometimes it's only in your head. Like a man that thinks that his wife is cheating him and she's going with somebody, which is only in his mind, and that's for he's killing her. This is his mental problem that is unreal. Some problems are real problems. Like I have a friend, she's very known in Israel now because she's one of the physical doctors that deals with the COVID-19, with the pandemic, you know, that's all over the world. And this is a real problem. And she is very, very very, very sad now, and very that there's disappointed or desperate, very, very desperate, because there's nothing she can do about the British that's going, the British kind of COVID-19 this in Israel now and in all over the world. And she works from 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and she doesn't know what to do about it. And only she can see is that people going out of her hospital. And yesterday she was very despaired. So this is a real problem. So some problems are real problems. Some problems are something that we think in our mind. That's why everyone can have to look inside himself and learn about himself before and blame others, and try to understand that some problems are real problems. Some problems you can't do anything about it. Even if you are the best doctor in the world, you are just a human being, and death and illness is part of the world. And some of the problems are in your own world, in your own mind, and you can cause trouble to innocent people. So this is a very, very big word problem that you can put inside many, many things. I can't count them. This is what I have to do about it, say briefly.
Okay. சங்கீதா, உங்களுக்கு என்ன சொல்ல முடியுதா? இதுல என்ன சொல்லி இருக்காங்கன்றது நீங்க பேசக்கூடிய நிலையில இருக்கீங்களா?
Yes. Actually beginning part எனக்கு ஆடியோ கொஞ்சம் கிளியரா இல்ல. லாஸ்ட் பார்ட் கேட்டேன். அவங்க என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா, அவங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச ஒரு டாக்டர் பத்தி எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொன்னாங்க. சில ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வந்து நிஜமாலுமே வெளி உலகத்துல ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இருக்கு. அதுக்கு நம்ம என்னமாச்சும் ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் எடுக்கணும். சில ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வந்து ஆக்சுவலி ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இல்லை, நம்ம தான் அதை வந்து ப்ராப்ளமா நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம். சில ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ்க்கு வந்து நம்மளால we can do actions to solve those problems. சில ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ்க்கு நம்மளால எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியாது. நம்ம எந்த ஆக்ஷன் எதுவுமே பண்றது.
உங்க ஸ்டக் அப் ஆயிட்டு.
Okay, can I talk? Nania?
Just a minute, we'll see if she'll come back.
Or disconnect ஆயிட்டு.
Okay.
இப்போ கேக்குதாங்க?
நம்ம இடையில கொஞ்சம் டிஸ்கனெக்ட் ஆயிருந்தது. சொல்லுங்க, இப்போ கேக்குது.
ஹலோ.
கேக்குது.
பேசுங்க சங்கீதா.
அதாங்க. சில ப்ராப்ளம்க்கு வந்து சில டைம் வெளி உலகத்துல ப்ராப்ளமே இல்ல, நம்ம தான் அது ப்ராப்ளம் நினைச்சு ஸ்ட்ரகிள் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். சில சர்க்கம்ஸ்டான்சஸ்ல there are some problems outside, பட் நம்மளுக்கு பண்றதுக்கு there is no scope for action at all. அதனால ஆக்சுவலி ஆக்ஷன் பண்ணி we can sort those problems. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சொன்னாங்க. அப்புறம் ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொன்னாங்க, அது எனக்கு சரியா கொஞ்சம் ஆடியோ இது கிளியரா இல்லை, ஃபுல்லா அதை நான் ஃபாலோ பண்ணலைங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சொன்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள்
ஒரு ஐடியா இருந்தா வேற any other person wants to contribute?
Okay, so it's really like this, that we have problems that depends of our past, our
Character.
What?
Character.
Our character. Like, I am very sensitive, and sometimes something will make me very, very sad. I know that 40 years ago, I couldn't sleep at night because in Biafra they didn't have what to eat. And I couldn't sleep at night if someone was throwing a baby in the garbage because they didn't want him. And now I know there are problems of mine and problems of the world. So the COVID is really a big, big, big problem. And I decide to try to live with it and not to fight it. I'm trying to do the best. And if every one of us will do the best that we can do, that we know it's the best, that not going out if we don't have to, don't do things if we don't have to, maybe it will be better. My real problem is that I'm sensitive, and sometimes I can manage with big problems, and sometimes I can't. So I decide to try to manage, even if it is very, 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 very difficult. Something very difficult happened to me, like to one of my children. So I'm trying to say to myself, it will be better, and maybe there is a reason of it, and continue to live, and trying to do good things for my all my family that live near me. And this all COVID made me, I don't want to talk about other people, but made me very, very close to my family. And I'm very happy I have it. And I don't need like before. Before I needed a lot of friends, a lot of things, but now I don't need. If I have to be at home, and I am a lot at home, so I take a very good book. I talk to my daughter or to my son, and I feel better, or to my husband, and I feel good. I don't try to be sad, to stay with the sadness. And it makes me smile and doing good things. And I hope this is a good way what I'm doing, but because I feel good with this. Hi, La.
Okay. If anybody wants to share their idea?
Yes, I can share. To me, a problem is a situation where we feel our happiness is threatened, where we feel that we are where we are dependent on something which is not in our control, which is threatening us. And it can be something inward inside, it could be something outside, but the feeling is the same. The feeling is that you feel helpless, you feel attacked, you feel your happiness is on threat. And it can be something real in the outside world, or it can be something in your imagination even. So this is how I perceive problem, to my idea.
Okay. Anybody else wants to share?
Hello. Thank you, Shri Bhagavat.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion, a problem is a situation, or maybe physical situation, maybe emotional situation that in our mind is unacceptable or shouldn't be. And if we have the idea that this or that, it can be, most people talked about negativity, but for some people also positivity can be a problem. They can feel even happy inside, but they are not used to it. This against their model, they don't understand it. Then for them, they feel like this is a problem. I think sometimes things can be very challenging, even very difficult, but you still don't feel like there is a problem, because you feel in your mind that the challenge or difficulty are just, or that that they does good for you. Then even when you're in the middle of a great difficulty, you can feel that there is no problem, but then you can feel that there is a problem on the subtlest, smallest thing, when they do not align with how we think things should be. So I think the ideas about how things supposed to be, this the source of the feeling of a problem. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I add something to these things?
You can say something.
Yeah, I think that first of all, I think that life is a big problem. Life and problem, you're going from problem to problem, even if it's your head, in your mind, or in outside. This is life. This is part of our life. But also a problem is not seeing the truth, or putting the truth under the carpet, like being blind. Some people are blind. They don't want to see the reality. So this is also a kind of problem. It's easy for them, but in the short run, but in the long run, it is going to be a problem. You don't see the real things. This is what I want to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And anybody else wants to share? So now I am going to say something.
Only one thing, one small thing.
Okay.
Sometimes what I think somebody else can look at it and say, oh, this is not a good thing to think. But no one knows what I had in my past. And my past is maybe making me to be like that. Like if in the morning I see someone and he's very, 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 very sad, or he doesn't say hi or something, and he doesn't act nicely to me. Before, years ago, I would say, oh, what did I do to him? Now I look at it in another way. I said, oh, maybe something happened to him, and I will try to help if he wants. But because not everyone wants us to talk to them. Somebody likes it and somebody don't. Like if I could talk to Lanier every day, I think I would be very happy, but he doesn't have the time for this. So sometimes it's because we don't have time, and sometimes because someone doesn't understand that we need him. That's all.
Okay. Lanir, shall I say something?
Yes, yes, you can
Okay.
continue.
So, for example, we have a problem. For example, we have some loss of some money or something, or we don't have proper sleep in the night, or some physical problem, some in our body. So we take it as a problem in our mind. We think it is a problem. We feel it is a problem. We feel it is uncomfortable. So here, the same problem occurs to many persons. The same problem. The problem is same. But all the psychological reaction, would it be same? The situation is same to everybody, but whether each and every person feel it is a problem. So there are some differences between each and every persons, because some our mental attitude towards the problem decides whether it is a problem or not. Somebody takes it is very serious. Somebody will not take it as serious. It is an ordinary and normal problem. Somebody, it is a serious problem. So the problem, the external problem may be same, the external situation may be same, the external status may be also same, but the psychological aptitude may treat the problem as a simple one or as a serious one. So the psychological and the mental attitude is the deciding factor. The external problem may be similar to each and everybody, but the psychological aspect is not similar to each and everybody. Each and every person is some difference. We can have some difference. Somebody may take it as a simple, as an ordinary problem, or somebody may take it as a serious problem. So the psychological aptitude towards the problem is a real problem. So if you are psychologically all right, the external problem is not a serious one. Really it is a problem. It can be made. We can try our best to solve the situation, solve the physical situation, physical problem. But if you are psychologically free, the physical problem is not at all a problem. It's an ordinary event. So here, so psychological salvation, the psychological rectification alone is the real thing. But in the external problem, for example, we take our car and we are traveling in the car, and on the way some problem happened to, some repair happened to the car, and the vehicle stopped. But we do not know how to repair the car, repair the vehicle. So we have to seek the help of other people. Some mechanics is necessary to set right the car. We have to take arrangement to deal with the instrument. some problem may be rectified, some problem may not be rectified. For example, the car repair, the repaired car may be some damaged totally, so it cannot be repaired. We have to abandon the car itself and we have to purchase a new car. So we have to seek the help of other people to rectify the problem. But what related to the psychological problem? We have we feel when we have the loss of anything, we have some physical problem. At the same time, we have psychologically, we are uncomfortable. So what we have to do with related to the psychological problem, psychological uncomfortable? Can the other people help to get away from your psychological problem? Nobody can help you. So it is totally under our control. So we have to deal with our psychological problem. No mechanic will not help you. So we ourselves have to deal with the problem. So psychological problem is a momentary problem. Each and every, because psychological emotions are, each and every psychological emotion is momentary. It need not continue, even though the physical problem may continue, but at the same time, the psychological problem is not necessary to continue. Each and every moment, it has to be renewed by ourselves. Otherwise, if you do not renew our psychological problem, the psychological problem will disappear. So actually, the psychological problem is just like a shadow. But if there is no psychological problem, the physical problem is not at all a problem. So what we have to deal with the psychological problem? We have nothing to do. So psychologically, actually each and physical problem and psychological problem both are clubbed with each other, interconnected with each other. Even though it is interconnected with each other, the psychological problem is only just like a shadow. We need not do anything related to the psychological problem. So if you are free from the psychological problem, the physical problem is not at all a problem. But anyhow, we have to rectify the physical things. We have to saturate everything. We have to make it all right. But we need not make the psychological problem all right. We have to leave the problem. So leaving the psychological problem is the solution for the psychological problem. Lanir?
Yes.
And you can summarize in your own language.
I try. אז שרי בגבת בעצם דיבר על מה זה בעיה, והצביע על העובדה הידועה שיכולה להיות בעיה זהה אצל שני אנשים שונים. והאחד ייקח את זה מאוד ברצינות, וזה יהיה בשבילו בעיה עצומה וקשה, והשני יתייחס לזה כמשהו טריוויאלי, זה משהו שצריך לפתור אותו, וזה לא יעשה לו הרבה עניין. מכאן שרי בגבת הסיק שבעצם מה שקובע אם משהו מסוים בחיינו הוא בעיה או לא, זה הגישה המנטלית הפנימית שלנו. ומבחינתו, בעיה חיצונית היא לא בעיה בכלל, אלא הבעיה הפנימית היא, המצוקה הפנימית שאנחנו חשים היא השורש של הבעיה, והיא מה שבעצם מפריע לנו. לבעיה החיצונית יכול להיות פתרון, או שיכול להיות שאין פתרון. אתם מבינים? אבל זה לא בעיה. זה שלבעיה מסוימת אין פתרון זה לא בעיה, פשוט אין לזה פתרון, זה הכל, כרגע. אבל הבעיה האמיתית שאנחנו כבני אדם חשים זה את המצוקה הפנימית ואת הקושי הפנימי לחיות עם הדברים כמו שהם. אז שרי בגבת מצביע על זה שכאשר אתה בעצם חופשי מבחינה פנימית, אז למעשה אין לך בעיות. למרות שיכולות להיות בעיות חיצוניות, חלקן פתירות וחלקן לא פתירות, אבל אין לך בעיה עם הבעיות האלה. או שאתה מצליח לפתור אותן, או שאתה לא מצליח לפתור אותן, אבל מהבחינה הפנימית אתה חופשי. והוא הצביע על זה שלמעשה אף אחד לא יכול לעזור לנו בזה, בבעיות הפנימיות שלנו. זה לגמרי נתון בשליטה שלנו. אף אחד לא יפתור לנו את הבעיות הפנימיות. אף אחד לא יכול לעשות את זה. אבל החדשות הטובות הן שהבעיות הפנימיות הן דורשות תחזוקה מתמדת. אנחנו מתחזקים אותן על ידי זה שאנחנו מזדהים איתן, מאמינים להן, ולוקחים אותם בידיים. ואם יש לנו את היכולת, עוד מעט בטח שבגבת תסביר, להניח להם להיות כמו שהם, אז הן נפתרות מעצמם. הבעיות הפנימיות, החיצוניות, כמו שאמרנו, או שיש להם פתרון, או שאין להם פתרון. אבל בכל מקרה, הבעיה הפנימית היא פתירה, בכל מקרה. בואו נשמע מה יש לשרי בגבת להרחיב על זה. Okay, Shri Bagavath, I finished.
Okay.
And we reached the point where you say you can be free of the inner problem, but how to do that?
So here, the main thing about free from the psychological and inner problem is we have to understand the nature of the inner problem. The main nature of the inner problem is that, so we have no action with related to the inner problem. So that alone is the solution. That alone is the understanding of the psychological problem. But in the external world is concerned, we have to do something. If you do not do something to the external problem, the problem will be there always. But at the same time, if you think we have to do something related to the psychological problem and making it all right, so thereby we give strength to the psychological problem. So if you do not do anything with related to the psychological problem, the psychological problem will go away on its own. Only because of our intervention, only because of our participation, only because of our doing something related to the psychological problem alone, we give strength and life to the psychological problem. Otherwise, psychological problem is a momentary problem. It is just like a shadow. But the physical problem is not so. Physical problem is a real problem. So we have to do something. We have to attend the physical problem. We have to attend to the physical situation. That we have to do something. We for ourselves, we have to do something. We seek the help of other people to do something related to the physical problem. But the psychological problem, no work is needed. So no other help. We need not have any help from other people also. So it is, in itself, it is a shadow. So we need not do anything. If you try to remove the shadow, it is waste of energy. So psychological problem is not at all a problem. But at the same time, it will happen. The happening of the psychological problem is natural, and it will come and it will disappear. Only because of our unnecessary intervention to the psychological problem, we give life to the problem. Otherwise, it will not have any problem. So we have to understand. The understanding is the solution for the salvation of the psychological problem. Unless we don't understand the solution, understand that there is, if you understand, if you think we have some work in the psychological problem, the problem continues and our work will also continue. It will be in a vicious circle. We have to fight with ourselves. So the problem is psychological thing, the I consciousness and the problem is the same. So if you fight with the problem is fighting with ourselves. So fighting with ourselves is meaningless. And if you have any clarification, if you want any clarification on this point, we may discuss.
I would love to ask something for a clarification. I am interested in this this balance between outside action and perception and the inner psychological mind where I try to give away resistance, to give up resistance, to allow everything to flow inside, to experience that there is no problem inside, but then still I want to work for my ideals, to achieve goals outside. And if I try to dislike the thing that I feel in some way, I need to have models for the outside action and movement. And how can I balance? I want to, when I try to have strong power of will for the outside action and inner acceptance of whatever comes. And sometimes I feel, I feel this to be false, but there is this idea in my head that I need the inner resistance to have willpower for outside action. And I am interested in this fine line, and how can I make my outside action more decisive while giving up resistance inside of me. Thank you.
Lanir, what is he saying? What is his question?
The question is that sometimes he feels that in order to achieve some goal in the outside world, he feels that some kind of inner resistance is inevitable.
Inner distance?
Inner resistance.
Inner resistance. Okay.
Right. Yes, because he needs this. This gives him the power to achieve goals in the outside world. So he's interested in the balance because if he knows that he has to give freedom to the inner world, but at the same time he wants to achieve goals in the outside world, and there is a kind of a fight within himself, and he believes that in a way he believes that this fight inside himself gives him the power to achieve what he wants to achieve in the outside world. So he is interested in the balance between giving freedom to the inside world, but still have enough power in order to achieve goals in the outside world.
What is the goal in the outside world? What is the goal?
For example, to do an action of service for others. I want to give myself to the process of this action, but then I feel when I give acceptance inside, when I have no resistance inside me, then I feel that everything is flowing. But then also I feel like maybe I don't feel that the resistance is good for outside action, but I have this idea all the time. I think that is good or this necessary for the outside action. And I feel that there is something delicate that I don't understand or that I don't see, because in my heart I believe that I can have full acceptance inside, that I can be in this place where inside there is no problem, and still see a problem outside or something, and do action to try and make it better. But this feeling that when I try to work, when I put my focus on the outside action, I feel that the resistance is coming by itself inside. How can I do the outside action and still keep the flow inside?
For example, if we have psychological, if you have physical problem, for example, our vehicle is under repair. So we feel psychologically it creates some distress. If it creates some distress, some sorrow, then only we try to separate the physical problem, separate the vehicle. So it give us a drive, give us a energy to separate the external problem. So in this way, to reach the goal, our psychological emotion may be a source for energy. For that aspect, we can make use of our psychological reactions. But at the same time, we need not struggle with the psychological reactions, psychological emotions. Psychological emotions may give power and energy to do the physical things. For that alone, we can make use of that. For example, if we have some illness, and because of illness, we may afraid the illness may be somewhat severe and it will create some more problem. We may afraid of the illness. So so unnecessary fear is not necessary, but at the same time, the fear may give a energy to go to the physician or some necessary treatment. For that, if you do not have any fear, we will not go to the physician, or will not seek further some treatment. So to that extent, the fear is necessary. If you don't have fear, we won't go to the separate the physical problem. So to that extent, fear is necessary. But at the same time, we need not fight without fear. So if you fight with the fear will increase. So we need not fight with the fear. We need not fight with our reaction. We can make use of the reaction to our external action, to external goal itself. We can make use of that.
Thank you. This for me, I feel this very much with the self-anger, but what you say is very relevant. I think that even if this arises, just to let it be every time again, to forget and to remember, and it's okay.
You are speaking about, you are asking something about anger?
I say that this process of having the inner feeling and then having the resistance come up again and again, this for me mainly with self-anger, or this idea in my head that if I am not angry with myself, I don't become a better person, or I don't do the good action outside. But then this this can take all my energy sometimes. And I think this idea of I should not like even when I try to accept, I deny. So this thing of like to give the anger, the self-anger place inside of me, that to see even this as okay, is good insight for me. Thank you.
Leonard, what is his exact problem of anger?
He is having this idea that in order to be a good person outside, making good deeds, good actions, he has to have an ideal, what he should be. And then when he's not acting as the ideal, he is angry about himself, that he is not acting in the way he wants to act. And he have this feeling, this idea that this self-anger is important, because if he will not have this self-anger, then he will not become a better person.
So he want to be psychologically a good person. Is it his problem? Without any anger, without any bad emotions?
No, it means that he wants to do good actions in the outside world.
Outside.
Yes. Okay. And when he is not reaching the ideal, then he feels this anger about himself. He is angry about himself. He feels that this anger is helping him in some way to be a better person.
So if he do not do good thing in the external world, so he become angry about himself. Yes. This anger, it makes him to do the right thing. So to separate the other external work.
Yes, he has this idea. Yes, but again, he also have the idea of giving freedom to the inside world, and these two ideas that collide, they have a conflict. There is a clash between the idea of giving freedom to the inner world and this idea of being angry about oneself.
So here, so externally we have to do the good thing. So if you unconsciously or consciously, if you do some bad thing to other people, so we feel sorrow, we feel affected. So this feeling of sorrow, feeling of affected is the anger. It is a kind of anger. So it doesn't matter. So this alone is the sign of good thing. So then only you can do the good thing to the other people, good thing to the other thing, the external world. So it gives some energy, but at the same time, for example, if some other people misbehaved with ourselves, so we got angry about the other people. So that is different. But here we want to do some good thing alone to the other people. We want to do the good thing to the other situation. For that, we cannot do the good thing. We may forget, or we have mistakenly do the wrong thing to the other people. So thereby we feel we have done a wrong. Thereby we are angry about our behavior. That is not bad thing. So then only we can correct our action. So all things is to correct the situation, correct the external problem. For that, each and emotion can be make use of that. But at the same time, let it be anger, let it be fear, let it be anything. Whatever may be the psychological emotion, everything may have some meaning. We can make use of to the external world. But in the psychological emotion in itself, it is meaningless. It is just like a shadow. We need not worry about the psychological emotion. If it is relevant to the external world, we can make use of that. If it is not relevant to the external world, we need not worry about that. But each and psychological emotion in concern, each and every every situation, it is a momentary one. It comes and goes, comes and disappears. So we need not try to fight with the psychological emotion.
So can you say, Shri Bagavath, that eventually it doesn't matter whether you feel good or bad inside? Bad, you will feel you have problems, right? If you feel bad, you feel you have problems. So eventually, if you understand what you're saying, then it doesn't matter if you feel bad or if you feel you solve your problems. Let's say I feel I don't have any problems inside. In a way, it doesn't matter if I feel that, if I enjoy that feeling, that having no problems inside myself, or I feel I do have problems, I struggle inside myself, but I have the understanding that I don't need to do something about it. Then it doesn't matter eventually, isn't it? Or it is.
So psychological emotion is concerned, everything is okay, nothing is bad, everything is good. So what we have to measure, what we have to measuring rod is that whether it is related to the external world, whether it is useful to the external situation, that alone is the measuring rod. If it is useful to the external world, then we can okay with the psychological feeling and everything, and we can make use of that. But if it is not useful to the external world, we don't mind the psychological emotions. Everything may come, everything may go. It will come and go. It will come and disappear. We need not worry about the psychological emotions. Just like a dream, all the dreams are not under our control. So in this way, the psychological emotions are not under our control. So it comes on its own and it will disappear on its own. And if it is necessary and relevant to the external world, the external situation, we can make use of that. Otherwise, we need not worry about that. And you may summarize all those things in your own words. The previous thing and this thing, everything you can summarize in your own.
Okay, I'll try. So, just a minute. Okay, so what Shri Bagavath said about the, אני מדבר עברית. אז מה ששרי בגבת אמר לגבי מה זה בעיה, אנחנו חוזרים קצת אחורה, ומה הפתרון לבעיה הפנימית. כי הגענו כבר למסקנה שהבעיה היא פנימית בלבד. בעיה חיצונית היא לא בעיה, היא או שיש לה פתרון או שאין לה פתרון. אם יש לה פתרון עושים אותו, ואם אין לה פתרון אז פשוט מניחים לו. אבל מבחינה פנימית, מה ששרי בגבת אומר זה בעולם הפנימי אנחנו פשוט לא צריכים להתעסק עם הבעיה בכלל. זאת אומרת, פשוט להניח לדברים להיות כמו שהם. אם יש להם איזושהי רלוונטיות לעולם החיצוני, אז אנחנו יכולים להשתמש באנרגיה הזאת. כמו לדוגמה, אם אנחנו מרגישים, עשינו משהו לא בסדר בעולם החיצוני, ויש לנו הרגשה שכעס עצמי, אנחנו כועסים על עצמנו קצת. אז הכעס העצמי הזה נותן לך איזשהו תמריץ לתקן את מה שקרה בחוץ, וזה בסדר. אתה לא צריך לתקן עכשיו את הכעס העצמי הזה, הכעס העצמי הזה הוא טוב, הוא מצוין. אתה לא צריך לכעוס על עצמך שאתה כועס על עצמך. פשוט הכעס העצמי הזה עוזר לך לתקן את מה שעשית בחוץ. אתה לא צריך לתקן שום דבר מבפנים. באותו אופן ניקח למשל את אותה רופאה מפורסמת בארץ שמתעסקת עם הקורונה. אז אם יש בעיה והיא יכולה לפתור אותה, אז היא יכולה לפתור אותה. ואם היא לא יכולה לפתור אותה ומרגישה מיואשת מזה שהיא היא לא יכולה לפתור אותה, אז זה מה שיש כרגע, כרגע יש ייאוש. הייאוש אולי יעזור לה, התחושה של הייאוש, אולי ידחוף אותה לחפש ולבדוק ולחקור בצורה כזאת שהיא אולי תוכל יותר טוב לענות על הבעיה הזאת. ואולי אין פתרון לבעיה, אולי אין פתרון למוטציה הבריטית. ואז זה המצב. בכל מקרה, לגבי מה שהיא מרגישה, ייאוש, אין לה שום דבר לעשות. זאת אומרת, הייאוש, ברגע שאתה מניח לו להיות כמו שהוא, הוא יחלוף מעצמו. או שהוא יכול לתת לך איזושהי דחיפה לעשייה בעולם החיצוני. אז בואו נסכם את זה. לגבי העולם החיצוני, ישנם בעיות, אבל בעולם החיצוני זה או שיש להם פתרון או שאין להם פתרון, ושם אנחנו צריכים לעבוד. ובעולם הפנימי, זה תמיד אותו הפתרון. פשוט להניח לעולם הפנימי להיות כמו שהוא. להיות כמו שהוא. אם יש משהו בעולם הפנימי שהוא עוזר לנו לפעול בעולם החיצוני, משתמשים בו. ואם לא, אז פשוט מניחים לדברים להיות כמו שהם. אז זה הסיכום שלי עד עכשיו. ובגבת, I did what I can.
Okay.
You can.
Okay, and the time is also up to the same team. And in the next week, you may suggest a topic. So on that topic, we may think and we can discuss. And you may ask other people also what may be the topic for the next week. And you consult with the other people and you can inform me also. Later also you may inform. And today we may say goodbye to everybody.
Okay. Goodbye, Bagavath. Just I'll say what you said in Hebrew, אז שרי בגבת הזמין אותנו לקבוע את הנושא של הפגישה הבאה. אם למישהו יש איזשהו רעיון, שירשום לי בוואטסאפ האישי, כי בוואטסאפ הכללי אני עשיתי שאי אפשר לרשום, אז תרשמו לי בוואטסאפ האישי איזה רעיון יש לכם, ואני אעביר את זה לשרי בגבת. תודה לכולם, תודה לכל. Thank you, שרי בגבת. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
ותודה רבה לך על הכל. תודה. שיהיה יום טוב לכולם. אמן.